Good evening. It is time for the Friday edition of the Iman Report. It is Friday, January 22nd, and we are previewing the NFC and AFC Conference Championship tonight. We have some NFL news, but we're going to kick off with some non NFL news, but this is sports related. NBCSN is going to cease operations as of the end of 2021, which is a big blow for the NHL and NASCAR. Some sports properties will move to USA. Others will find new homes. I think NASCAR will end up moving to USA. That's very likely. NHL is nearing the end of their TV deal with NBC, so we are. This gets interesting as in terms of the negotiations going into the new TV contract for NHL. Fox could become a lot bigger player for the NHL with the NBCSN shutting down. Fox has FS1, and FS1 doesn't have a lot of winter sports programming as of right now. Their UFC went to ESPN a few years ago. NHL would probably would be a good home. FS1 would be a really good home for the NHL. They could have Wednesday night rivalry on Fox on FS1. Fox would be great for NHL Sunday. They did have the good music too, and they had Glow Puck back. They could plausibly bring back Glow Puck, but I'm not a big fan of Glow Puck. But I think odds, if I had to make a prediction as of right now, I think we are going to see NHL either do a split agreement with NBC and Fox, or NHL go to Fox full time in the next TV deal with FS1. And FS1 actually does get into more homes than NBCSN. So I think Fox is definitely a big player for the new TV contract rights for NHL now that NBCSN is shutting down. Now, make a note, and I live in Northern California, that it does not NBCSN shutting down does not affect NBC Sports Bay Area, NBC Sports California, or any of the other NBC regional sports networks in America. It's just the national NBCSN channel that is shutting down at the end of 2021. But I totally would not be surprised if we see the NBC regional sports networks go up for sale in the coming months. That would not totally shock me. With Comcast's indication they might want to get out of the sports business at this time. Another possibility could be CBS. CBS doesn't have a lot as in terms of sports packages per se as of right now, and CBS Sports Network, it's on higher tiers of cable packages, so that's not necessarily the greatest bet for the NHL. There's also, you could go with the DigiNet Stadium. Maybe Stadium, this could be a good way for Stadium to grow their profile. That Sinclair Properties is Stadium. And you can get Stadium in most regions with just a regular antenna. The advantage of that is that cord cutting. A lot more people are cutting cable, going digital, so this is where Stadium could be a good partner that you don't have to pay for Stadium. Most areas you can get Stadium with just an antenna. That is owned by Sinclair. I don't know if the NHL is confident yet in doing that. And of course, another outside the box idea for the NHL could be Amazon. Amazon is certainly interested in getting in the sports business. Prime Video, they did NFL a few weeks ago. And I certainly think Amazon certainly wants to get into the sports business at some point. So that could be a good partnership between the NHL and Amazon if Amazon wants to expand its profile into sports. So that is a real possibility. We could see more sports migrate over to Amazon with Fire Stick to cater the cord cutters. But my prediction is I think the NHL will go to Fox next year with NBC shutting down. I think FS1 is where I think NHL is going to end up as of next year. NASCAR will just go to USA, Premier League. Who knows where they go? But yeah, as of right now, NBCSN shutting down at the end of this year. Next item on the docket is the Los Angeles Chargers hire Brandon Staley as their head coach, the defensive coordinator from the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know if I like this hire. We'll see. The Rams, the Chargers defense did struggle, so hopefully Staley did that. The good news for Brandon Staley, he does not have to change stadiums, but he will now have the stadium if there is fans allowed next year. That will hardly have fans in the seats. But you do have a good franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert, and he's not a bum, unlike Jared Goff. And then other coaching news, it looks like, then if you haven't seen, Dan Campbell hired by the Detroit Lions. So that leaves Detroit and Houston and Philly with the last two coaching vacancies. And we could see these coaching vacancies filled sooner than later. We shall see. Phillip Rivers retires from the NFL, which leaves the Colts in a bit of a pickle as of right now. Do they go out and try to acquire Matthew Stafford? Do they go and try to acquire Carson Wentz? Do they get in the Deshaun? Well, Watson, I don't know. I don't think the Texans will trade with a rival in Indianapolis. That's probably a little bit a ways there. But I think Stafford, Wentz, two possibilities they can acquire. But a lot of people think it might be Brissett. I doubt it. There's a reason why Brissett did not start this year. And he's fallen out of favor in Indianapolis. So the only quarterback that's currently on the roster for the Colts is Jacob Eason. How confident are they that Jacob Eason is a franchise quarterback? At the very least, Jacob Eason will probably be the backup next year for Indianapolis. But really, the real question is, do you want Jacob Eason starting your team in 2021? I think it's more likely they go out and acquire a quarterback, since they're probably going to be too low in the pecking order to draft a quarterback. They could go after Matthew Jones if they fail to acquire Carson Wentz or a Matthew Stafford. So this is where Indianapolis is at this point. They are going to have to look elsewhere for a starting franchise caller. Another quarterback that, who knows? I think Indianapolis will be. I think they will likely be acquiring a quarterback. I don't think Eason's going to be the guy who's ready to be a starting quarterback next year. Pittsburgh Steelers taking a risk on Dwayne Haskins. Yes, they signed the bum known as Dwayne Haskins in Pittsburgh, and I think this is very concerning. Look, Big Ben's only got one more year left on his contract. Roethlisberger showed regression as the season went on. I don't think Big Ben is going to be around any more than next season, to be honest. I don't think Haskins is going to be the guy to take over for Big Ben. Haskins has character issues. Haskins is not played worse when he started again after injuries. I'm not convinced Haskins might be anything more than a third-string quarterback at this point. I don't even know if he's even an upgrade from Mason Rudolph and Hobbs, to be honest. Dobbs is the third string, not Hobbs. But I don't think this was a good move by the Steelers. This worries me that they're not going to address the quarterback in the draft. Hopefully I'm wrong and they do draft and they do go get a franchise quarterback in the first round. But Pittsburgh's going to be a team that's probably going to fall off next season at this point. And this was just not a good move by the Steelers. This is probably another move that says the Steelers are just trying to hang on to Big Ben, and they're not ready for, and they're going to find themselves digging a deeper hole with Cleveland and Baltimore getting better next year. So that's where I feel. All right, now on to the games. First game on the docket, it is the Green Bay Packers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Green Bay Packers, the 3-point favorites in this game. They played earlier this year. Tampa Bay was the victor. And this was Rodgers' one of the worst games of the season. So Aaron Rodgers certainly would love to get some atonement from that loss. Tampa Bay certainly would love to host a Super Bowl. These are two quarterbacks that are familiar with cold weather. They are familiar with each other. This is going to be must-see TV. There's going to be great ratings for this game. There's going to be a lot of excitement. Who's going to win? Packers win if they are able to put up points on the scoreboard and make this game a track meet. If the Packers are able to stop the run and force Tom Brady to throw with his arm. Brady, a good quarterback, but he's still regressing this year a bit. So there is a path to beating Tom Brady, and that is force Tom Brady to use his arm. Tampa Bay wins more games more often than not with the run game. If you can stop the run, you've set yourself up for a better chance, shutting down Jones and Fournette. Fournette has looked better in the playoffs this year. So Jones and Fournette has been double trouble for the run game. Why I believe Green Bay has a chance? Green Bay gave me confidence last week since they were able to beat a stout defense in the LA Rams. So that gives me confidence. Why they might lose? Well, the defense allowed 18 points to Jared Goff. Goff, not a great quarterback. So that is where I think the Packers' weakness is the defense. But if the Packers' defense can stop the run, force Brady to use his arm, Packers get the win. The way Tampa Bay wins is if they can get to Aaron Rodgers, force him to release the ball earlier, and, of course, stop the run. But the problem is Green Bay's offense is a lot more balanced this year than it was last year. They've got a good running back. And it's no longer just Devontae Adams. It's Valdez Scantling. It's also Rodgers has found other weapons besides Adams. And the Packers can run the ball this year. Aaron Jones has been great at running the ball. But the Bucs have Ronald Jones and Fournette, and they're double trouble. So, all things considered, this is going to be a very close game. Who is going to win? This is tough. I'm going to do it. I think we are going to see the first ever team to host a Super Bowl. Tampa gets it done. I'm not confident, but I think Tampa gets the win with a 24-21 score. Tampa hosts a Super Bowl for the first time ever. Tampa will be home for Super Bowl 54. Next up, it's now on the AFC side, it is Mahomes versus Allen at Arrowhead. Yes, Patrick Mahomes did clear concussion tests. He's been cleared to play. So the Chiefs get Mahomes back, and they are happy. Buffalo's been good, but not great in the playoffs. Buffalo's defense really showed up last week. And Buffalo's defense played inspired last week. They shut down. They did a great job shutting down Lamar Jackson. But the Bills' offense has not been exactly that great in the playoffs. Bills are going to have to score more than 17 points if they want to beat Kansas City. Kansas City played great until Mahomes got hurt last week. If Mahomes hadn't got hurt, I think the Chiefs might have routed the Browns, but the Brownies came back and were lucky to escape with the win. Early in week 6, the Chiefs did beat the Bills 26-17 in Buffalo. Kansas City is probably going to show their muscle in this game. Bills can win if they are able to pressure Patrick Mahomes, force Patrick Mahomes to make mistakes, and they can put more than 20 to 30 points on the scoreboard. Chiefs win if they can make this game a track meet. Chiefs can win shootouts. If Mahomes is able to use his feet, use his arm, play balance, and Kelce, and if Travis Kelce has a good game, Tyreek Hill has a good game, it will be Buffalo will head back. Kansas City will likely go back to the Super Bowl. Chiefs are the 3-point favorites. Who do I have winning this game? I don't, since Mahomes is back, barring another injury, it's going to be Kansas City. Kansas City will go back to the Super Bowl. We will have Brady versus Mahomes in Super Bowl 54. Super Bowl 55. Super Bowl 55. I'm so off today. But yeah, it'll be Mahomes versus Brady in Super Bowl 55 with Tampa Bay as your hosts. So that's what I've got for this year's Super Bowl. I'll be back tomorrow after McGregor versus Poirier 2. In UFC 257 tomorrow night. We'll have a good post-fight show, hopefully. Should be some exciting cards. But I'll be back tomorrow night to do an Iman report and see who should fight who next. So everybody have an excellent night.